That's right. I'm back. Pleb Underground, doing another live episode today. And you know what? I figured we're gonna change it up completely, right? My attitude has just been right. It's been terrible. I've been called a hater. You know, yesterday my desire for hyper Bitcoinization was questioned. Right? Don't I want hyper Bitcoinization? Why aren't I more of a cheerleader for these companies? So don't worry, guys. That's it. You know what? Now I'm getting paid by like the bigger companies, and it's time to just tell everybody how amazing these Bitcoin treasury companies are. How everything you're being told is just absolutely real, and it's just you can't even imagine how incredible it's all going to be. Can't even imagine. Yeah, my sound's on this time, so I'm good. As you could imagine, what I just said was just /s, right? Obviously, that's not what's actually happening. But I will continue to provide objective, middle of the road views where, I try to make sure to keep my own hopium in check, and at the same time, maybe I help you guys, some people not get wrecked. Anyways, we are going to talk about this. We're going to switch it up a bit to more quiet, or we'll say companies that aren't really being cheered as much for their Bitcoin stacking, but nevertheless, they are indeed stacking Bitcoin. Or are they? Anyways, before we dive into that, you guys know the deal. We're going to give some love to the Pleb Underground sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. They make absolutely beautiful Bitcoin branded products. They just dropped their first one. It is the solid aluminum Bitcoin clock. I had to get my hands on it so that I could show it to you guys. Take a look. Really, really nice piece. Beautiful craftsmanship. Head on over to archamp.co. The link is going to be in the show notes. That is Archimedes Emporium. Head on over there.
Okay, welcome back. Let's dive into it. So, some of you guys may have seen this post yesterday, the Bitcoin Magazine post, right? Design app giant Figma revealed it owns almost $70 million in Bitcoin ETFs and was approved to buy $30 million more in BTC. Now, that sounds great, right? And this kind of lends or can lend to the idea that this company may buy and custody their own Bitcoin. Unfortunately, though, that's not really the case, because I shouldn't say that, but digging in a little further, right? It seems that, let's see here. Is it this one? Yeah, it is. It is this one. So let's go. All right. So Figma is not directly buying Bitcoin, as we know. It has to do with the ETF. So this is the weird part, right? Figma's board approved a $30 million investment in Bitcoin. Okay. For which the company purchased $30 million in USDC. What? With the intention to convert it into Bitcoin at a later date. Why did they need to buy a stablecoin? Like, I've never had to purchase a stablecoin in order to buy Bitcoin. Why did this company do this? It's kind of strange. Kind of even seems like a nothing burger. Maybe they didn't have the intention to buy the Bitcoin right away, but they definitely wanted to put out the news release. Maybe that's what it was about. Did a little more digging, and of course, right, it turns out, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it turns out that this company is filing for an IPO. So this was obviously a really good marketing angle. But then it started to... I started to ask the question to myself, all right, so, we've got all these businesses, that are supposedly buying Bitcoin. So we've got the Bitcoin treasury companies, which you guys, my take. Now, yesterday, a fellow Bitcoiner responded back to the stream saying that, I maybe essentially questioning my desire for hyper Bitcoinization. And I said, no, not at all. I go, I'm for that. The thing is that I would like to see businesses that have, that actually have real products and services that are accumulating Bitcoin with their cash, right? Cash that they don't need. I appreciate these businesses that we see right now that are making all this noise that don't actually earn any money, but are creating a giant marketing funnel. Like, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I don't appreciate the attention to Bitcoin for that. The issue is that I just don't see them as long-term sustainable. And the rebuttal to that is that these businesses, right? These businesses that are doing nothing. Sorry that I keep saying that. I just can't help it, because for me, they don't actually offer any products and services. So for me, they do nothing besides issue debt or bonds and, buy Bitcoin. But essentially, I just don't see these businesses being able to hold on to this for the long term. And supposedly, this is all part of the speculative attack on the dollar. I mean, that may be so. That may be true. That it's the speculative attack on the dollar. And I'm gonna talk about that more with Pierre Rochard and Ulrich on July 11th. But I genuinely feel like it's more of a speculative attack on people who don't understand Bitcoin. I don't. And the other thing is this, right? If this is a speculative attack on the dollar and you're not trying to get Bitcoiners to buy these shares or sell their Bitcoin for shares, then why isn't all this crap just being marketed on like LinkedIn or something like that? Like, why is it being marketed on Bitcoin Twitter, right? Like and to Bitcoiners. It's kind of weird. Anyways, look, this is just the stuff that I think about. It's not that I think that I'm right, but yeah, like I was tech support for over 20 years. So sometimes I ask questions that don't make people feel good. And other times, it's questions that are like, hey, you know what? I didn't think of that. Either way, the next thing that we're going to take a look at here is actually these businesses that are quietly in quotations buying Bitcoin, right? Let's take a look at them. All right. So Tesla, right? So Tesla supposedly holds, 11,509 Bitcoin. Okay. We all know this, right? Like we all knew that Tesla bought Bitcoin, and then, we all saw what happened where Elon magically stopped saying Bitcoin, started saying Doge, and then all of a sudden, right, which he claimed that he did it to test the liquidity of Bitcoin, where they sold some of their holdings, which was convenient because that was the first quarter that they were profitable. Just saying, the quarter that they sold Bitcoin. Okay. All right. So we know about Tesla. All right. So next we've got Block. I mean, not really surprised by Block actually holding Bitcoin. Yeah, I think it's kind of a nothing burger, right? For the people who don't know who Block is, Block owns right. Block is Square, but they also own Cash App, right? Which was touted for many years as the easiest way to stack Sats KYC, obviously. Stacking Sats with KYC. Anyways, next, right? All right, we've got Bonsai International. So this one's kind of interesting, right? So they're talking about how they're going to use their cash reserves, okay? And in November of 2024, they explained that they're going to allocate some money towards Bitcoin. But there is no actual purchase that we can verify. Anyways, so we'll leave that one as is. Rumble, right? I mean, for those of us that are on Twitter and everything, like we know, right? We always hear about Rumble. We always see the CEO, Chris, touting their Bitcoin purchases and what they're going to do with it, and how they're growing their platform and all that good stuff. So yeah, this is another one that, unfortunately, though, right? This company doesn't actually make money yet, so to speak. So I have a hard time with Rumble because, in all fairness, right, their competition is YouTube, and YouTube just has such a bigger network effect. I'm not saying that they're going to fail. I'm just saying, like, it is an uphill battle, right? It is a Sisyphean task for Rumble, and I obviously wish them luck, and I want to see them succeed. At the very least, I want to see them do some serious competition to Google, YouTube. Why not, right? Competition works for us as the little people, right? It helps us out. All right. And yeah, that was the last one there. That was actually the last one. So there really aren't that many businesses, at least that are publicly known, right? And this doesn't include the home offices, right? This doesn't include the private businesses that have understood the Bitcoin's proposition and are like, no, we are going to hold Bitcoin with our cash. Now, I do have to say that I don't agree with everything that Stefan says, but I think he made an excellent point, and this is the spirit, right? This is the spirit of Bitcoin. So you think NGU will make Bitcoiners all sing Kumbaya together? And he knows. I mean, he's been around long enough. He knows that that's not how it works. So, and he's right. You'd think it would, but no, nobody cares. Everybody's mad. Okay, we're 4% off all-time highs. And actually, right now, at the time of this show, I think we're sitting at like 109K. Almost got to 110. We're so close again to all-time highs. Anyways, ossifiers versus soft forkers, knots versus core, custodial L2s, are treasury companies, shitcoins or Ponzi's, multi-sig vendor lock-ins, spend versus hodl, mining decentralization, right? Cats and dogs are getting married. Anyways, it never stops. See you all in Valhalla. And of course, you could see what I responded back, right? This is how we win. And it is. Like to me, it's very important that we have these discussions. I don't care about being right, because in the end, when something actually happens, if I'm not willing to change my opinion, then that is my problem, right? When I'm faced with new information, if my opinion stays the same, even though I have new information to count, then that's just me being a fool. That's all there is to it. So, you know what? For now, this is our landscape. I can appreciate the idea of the speculative attack on the dollar. Unfortunately, I don't really see it yet in terms of these Bitcoin treasury companies. Maybe, oh, you know what? That just reminded me. Another company that holds Bitcoin is Mercado Libre, right? That's another one that it's a publicly traded company. They've got a whole bunch of cash sitting on the side. It's got nothing to do with it. Their shares already grow at I guess you'd say at reasonable levels where shareholders are happy. And so they're buying Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin for their balance sheet. I mean, and nobody even cares, right? Nobody even cares. But yet we've got these other companies that have no or very little business use case. And we're freaking out over their MNAV, right? Where we're freaking out over the multiple to the net asset valuation because they hold Bitcoin and they plan to buy more Bitcoin in the future so they can dilute their shares. It's, I don't know. I'm just not seeing I'm just not seeing it yet. That's all there is to it. Anyways, guys, that's it. That's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about. It's going to be a short week. That's right. It's July 4th, Independence Day for us in America, and it's time to celebrate. So everybody be safe, have fun, all that good stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do an episode tomorrow. I might. We'll see. Catch you guys later. Peace.